What's up my people, my name is Spicy and I am sending the emails for the giveaway, so make sure you are subscribed because the winners will be announced tomorrow. Today you will experience 4 IDontWorkHereLady stories. Comment a fire if you're having fun and like this video and subscribe to support me. Congratulations Lisa for the comment of the day. I don't work for you. Here's the setup. I used to manage the phlebotomist in the lab at a hospital. 25-ish employees to oversee, scheduling, training, plus also be a phlebotomist when staff is short. A phlebotomist is, we draw the blood, ER, inpatient and walk-in, customer service, specimen requirements, registration paperwork, and phones. The lab technicians and technologists, educational differences, run the samples, manage the machines, report critical levels, file results into the computer, and set up microbiology. I worked hard, busy all the time. We were always understaffed, hospitals usually are, and I was usually running 2 or 3 tasks at a time. The techs are also busy, but as they are not managing patients and doctors with customer service in addition to our clinical jobs, they are not literally running from task to task like phlebotomists. The largest gap in personalities will be myself. I am the youngest on pleb, most responsibility and only answers to the lab director and pathologist. And Prof Dick Weed, youngest tech, just out of school, first 6 months in the job. I am working up in the front of the lab, running reports and scheduling while taking drop-off specimens and registering and drawing the 3-4 people in the lobby. I have located my workstation in the center of the reception and lobby area so I can be easily accessed by my plebs, see anyone walking in, and see the stat printer for urgent orders. I've got stacks of paper lined up on the 2 tables behind my main desk that needs to be clear for patients. Waiting room in front of me, computers and drawer rooms behind me, back lab behind that. In walks the prof. I need you to fax this one for me. Cool. The fax machine is behind me. Why can't you do it? As you can see, we have several people waiting for draws. It's just some buttons. I even wrote the numbers down for you. Cool. The fax machine is behind me. I think you used it this morning. I need it done though. I'm busy. Prof Dickweed walks back to the big happy machines running tests. Not the fax machine. About an hour later, we have caught up and have a moment to breathe. Return Prof Dickweed from the back. So, can you fax these for me now? No. Why do you think I need to do this for you? You could have done it already. Why can the phlebotomist do it? I have tech work to do. I don't need to waste time faxing. It's the manual. He then drops what he needs fax into my lap. Hell no. My hands grabs the paper and like a defensive move to ward off a sneeze, the papers are thrown up and into the air. About 30 collided pages and I make it rain. There is silence. He looks around the room for support or help, and at this moment, a stat order prints off a long list of tests for the ER. It includes blood cultures and blood bank tests. For blood bank, the patient has to be drawn twice by 2 different plebs to ensure correct typing. Prof is in fact a dickweed and had already alienated the phlebotomist over the last half a year. The other 2 plebs available had already seen the shower and divided to orders and headed to the ER. Prof Dickweed picked up his papers and walked to the fax machine, typed in some numbers and sent a fax. This guy showed no respect and received none in return. It was very awesome to read. Having a beer turns me into a bartender, I suppose. Now for the scene. A small pizza place in my hometown. 10-seat bar, 2 high tops with 2 chairs and a dining room that might hold 10 people. This place tends to fill up with locals quickly. I am always by myself here, so I don't like to sit at a table. It seems wasteful for a couple that might eat. Anyway, I come here often, so I know everyone that works here by first names, most of their significant others, kids, parents, etc. I have also done some work on the place for them and have a running tab. So, the situation, I am standing at the end of the bar. There are 1 or 2 bar stools available, but I am okay with standing. Kay, the bartender, walks away to take some orders, get plates, do whatever, and fills the bar before she goes. Enter college douche, CD, and 3 douche friends sit and stand around a high top. He looks right at me. Hey man, come over here. Again, this is a small town and I have a lot of siblings, so I thought maybe he recognized me through some connection or something. I walk over with my beer. Hey, what's up? We need 4 Miller Lights and 4 shots of Fireball. Oh, he thinks I work here because I was slightly behind a bar. Let me calmly explain. Oh, sorry man. Don't hit me with that. Your shift just ended, BS. My boys want to get tanked. Yeah man, what I was going to say is, I don't work here. But I will let Kate know when she gets back that you want drinks. So you're not going to get our drinks? No. And I turn to walk away. Hey man, is the owner here? I don't think so. Yeah, I bet you don't know. My dad owns this place and you're going to be fired when I tell him you didn't serve paying customers. So at this point, I don't know what this kid is on because I know a lesbian couple own and run the bar and a friend of mine owns the building and he only has 2 daughters. But I go on. Sure man, you do that. I go back to my spot at the end of the bar. So you're just going to stand there and drink and not serve us? As I finish my beer, I shake my head yes, just as the manager, the server bartender comes back and sees the college douche and his friends. She goes over and starts her thing. They order the same douche order and Kay proceeds to card them. As this happens, Kay asks if I want another and I say yes. She tells them she'll be right back. She gets my beer and heads back to them. The college douche hands over 1 ID. So yeah, 4 Miller Lights and 4 Fireballs. Yeah, you can only order 1 if you have only 1 ID. He flips out. What do you mean? I have an ID so I can order for them. You and your dumbass partner planned this so we could not drink. My dad owns this place. I'm getting you both fired tonight. Yeah, you're going to have to leave. What the? Did you hear me? You're getting fired. Oh, okay. Go outside and make that phone call and we will wait here. The college douche and his friends walked out. College douche still puffing and fuming. I felt bad for his friends because they kind of look embarrassed and hungry. So we did the only sensible thing we could think of and called and text the other bars and bartenders to not serve these guys because he was such a flaming douche. I love when people try to name drop to the wrong people, especially in small and close-knit communities. He went from I know the owner to my dad owned the place. He does not even know how to lie properly. Poor kid. So your dad is a lesbian now? That's a new thing. Crazy racist lady at Walmart. Me is me, RP is the random person, CL is for the crazy lady, and B is the manager or the boss. To set the stage, I am Middle Eastern by ethnicity, but I live in USA. I was going to Walmart to pick up some supplies for the local school. They don't get much funding, so teachers usually pay out of pocket to supply kids with supplies. And I have a pretty good salary, so I decided to help them out. I am making my way to the section with school supplies. A random person on the way there asked me if I knew where to get pencils. So I told them I was headed that way and they could follow me. I noticed the crazy lady kinda following me from a distance, but didn't think much of it. When we got to the school supplies, the crazy lady approached me. Stop shopping on your work time and show me where to buy laundry detergent. What? I agree, it was not the best response, but she caught me off guard. You're so rude with customers. You need to get fired immediately. At this point, she's yelling for the manager, and I could tell the random person was feeling uncomfortable. I'm sorry ma'am, but could you lower the tone of your voice? I don't work here, and you're making other people uncomfortable. We can talk this out with quieter voices. She hits me with her purse. Dogs like you should not be allowed in our country. I am sure you came here illegally to spread your terrorist religion. I am Christian by the way. That's racist. At this point, another employee had heard her yelling and she was making a scene, so they had gotten the manager to come over. What's the problem? This turd-stained employee of yours refuses to do his job and help me. I want him fired on the spot. I have never seen this man in my life. I can't believe you're defending this lazy dog. I want to speak to corporate. The crazy lady kicks a display down. I'm going to ask you to leave before I call the police. Crazy lady eventually reluctantly leaves in a huff. The boss to me. I'm really sorry you had to experience this. can you tell me what happened? I tell him why I came to Walmart and I explain the whole story. To show my apologies, you can take the school supplies for free. I was able to get all the school supplies for the children that I needed without paying a dime. I am actually shook by my interaction with the crazy racist lady, but also by the generosity of the manager. This crazy lady assaulted you. She should have been arrested, and I bet she only behaves like this because she's never been arrested for this behavior in the past. A lifelong lack of consequences has taught her that it is okay to behave this way. What do you mean a 13-year-old does not work here? So back in 2012, a small storm by the name of Sandy was a couple of days away and everyone was running around getting batteries, water, etc. My ex-military dad thought we were all good until he was doing his checks and found out one of our flashlights was just not working. Either the bulb or the wires, who knows. So he readied himself to go out into the craziness and brought me along to get some soup. I was really sick. We arrive at our local Big Lots and my dad goes in while I stay outside due to the lights making my headache much worse. While I was waiting, I saw that some of the cars had rolled away due to the wind, and since I felt bad about the poor soul who will be forced outside, started to put them away. In comes Karen. Hello, do y'all have any water? I'm not realizing that she's talking to me. I just ignore her. Hello? My head jerks up and I look at her, whipping my nose on my jacket sleeve. Oh, were you talking to me? Who else would I be talking to? Super condescending. What did you say? Super slow like I am an idiot. I said, do you guys have water? Oh, I don't know. I don't work here, so you should head inside and ask them. Karen scoffs and stares at me like I'm a piece of crap on her shoe. Stop lying to me before I kick your manager. Of course you work here. Now, in case you didn't know, Big Lots employee's uniform is an orange apron with the store's logo on it. At least it was back then, with a company shirt and black slacks and pants and closed shoes and are over 18. I, on the other hand, I am 13 and 5 feet and I was wearing a bright pink jacket, Cookie Monster PJ pants with a Twilight shirt because, again, I am sick. I am also coughing every few seconds. Ma'am, I'm 13, so I don't work here. Now please leave me alone. Karen's eyes go wide and her face red. I got super scared, especially when I realized I did not have my phone on me, so I started to head inside to find my dad. Just as I stepped in the interior doors, I felt a vulture-like grip on my arm before I was dragged to the closest register. I demand to speak to the manager. I want this employee fired this instant. The poor cashier was frozen due to the shock from seeing a brand sheet dragging some strange kid in the store. Luckily, the manager was already there, currently checking out my father. Upon seeing me, my dad raced over and pulled me to him. Excuse me, why is your hand on my daughter? Karen jabbed her finger towards my dad before saying, because you did not raise her correctly and she's not doing her damn job. She's 13-year-old, you crazy girl. Before Karen could respond, the manager stepped in and asked what was going on. Karen immediately started spouting that I was rude, refused to help her, and that I was clearly out of uniform. The manager gave me and my snot-nosed, disgusting face one look. Ma'am, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. What? Reprimand your employee. Ma'am, I have never seen this girl before in my life. As it is, you have assaulted a customer who you thought was an employee, so you are now banned. How dare you? Do you know how much money I've spent here? If you want, I can call the police and they could settle this. Karen sputtered before literally running away. The cashier ran after her and got her license plate. The manager offered to still call the cops for my dad, but after I literally begged him for us to just go home, tears may or may not have been involved, my dad decided not to. He bought the new flashlights and batteries with some hefty discounts and a lot of coupons for the whole ordeal. We went back a few more times to use the coupons before giving them to friends. Surprisingly, my dad did not like going back there all that much after this. Hey, check out more I Don't Work Here Lady videos here and look at other nice videos I made for people just like you that enjoys Reddit stories. To support what I do here, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave a comment such as a fire, cause my name is Spicy and I'm out.